A Leap of Faith, written by Trisha Ashley, and read by Julia Franklin. Chapter 1. It's all Greek to me. Another glorious Grecian 2000 day was dawning over Bob's Creative Break Centre on the island of Lefkada. And outside, the air was like warm milk, tinged with the scent of burning charcoal. Thank goodness I'm a woman of strong resolution. I needed to be, for not only did the island try to seduce me away from my morning's work, so too, that day, did the stack of birthday mail on my bedside table. But I'm like a jogger. I need my daily buzz, and I'm programmed either to write every morning or self-destruct. It doesn't matter which far-flung corner of the globe I'm in, whether I'm boarding a ferry, sitting in an aeroplane or paddling a canoe. Between the hours of 5 and 7 in the morning, I'm either muttering into a tape recorder or scribbling in a notebook. Spiral bound. When I got a car of my own, I vowed I'd have a "Writers Do It Anywhere" sticker on the bumper. Still, there were 10 more minutes and the current chapter of Vengeance, Dark Hours, Dark Deeds, to wind up. Nala, the heroine, shares with me, and Margaret Thatcher too apparently, the traits of needing very little sleep and having great self-control. Come to that, she's a bit like a nubile Margaret Thatcher in leathers, for while she doesn't exactly roam around the forest with a row of wizened willies dangling from her belt, she does have a nifty line in verbal emasculation. Wish I did. The realm of Miriam was now rightfully Nala's, but was she fated to rule it entirely alone? During her years of outcast wandering, she dreamed of finding a true mate, her equal in skill, knowledge and strength. Once, she thought Rag was the man, until the scales had been torn from her dazzled eyes, and she'd seen the shallow, vain, self-seeking reality behind the beautiful facade. In the bitterness of his rejection, he'd followed her like a malignant shadow, stirring his followers to vile deeds, fueled by the evil, lichen-brewed Lag. And now, the mysterious and alien dragon-slayer, tall and wraith-pale against the dark forest, had come to haunt her life. His eyes, like clear crystal, seemed to pierce her very soul. Dragon-slayer? What sort of place could the dark side be, if dragons were enemies who needed to be slain? And what did he want from her? "I don't know, Blossom," I told her, clicking off the tape recorder. "You'll just have to work it out for yourself." And I needed to find another name for the evil-inducing drink. I couldn't have Lag Louts in my fantasy novel. It was just too much. I'd think of something else that afternoon, while the current crop of creative breakers were utilising their free time by writing, sleeping or fornicating, according to their tastes and luck. I might be writing, but I certainly wouldn't be fornicating. It's such a meaningless quick fix without love that I hadn't been really tempted for years. Though lately, for some reason, I seem to have been thinking about sex almost as much as about my novel. That's about every 30 seconds. Perhaps it was something to do with my birthday approaching, heralding yet another upward step on the spiral stair to 40, with no vestige of a significant other in my life, and a decreasing chance of ever finding one. Let's face it, by this stage, the only available men left on the shelf were the last few date-expired ones, for whom genetic modification could only be a good idea. In a lesser person, desperation might have set in, but I wasn't about to grab the nearest male flotsam like the incredible sinking woman. I had a rash and ill-considered fling in my youth, so I know that the game is definitely not worth the candle. Rag, my novel's gorgeous but evil anti-hero, is loosely based on my ex-lover, Dave, so he's pretty loose, although Dave isn't really evil, just a bit vicious round the edges, like a marginally untrustworthy dog. He turned a little odd after I realised I'd made a big mistake and ditched him, and he took to stalking me down...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?